And I wanted to share with you a practice that I believe is foundational if we're wanting to grow our emotional intelligence and also find a greater equanimity within. And I also wanted to give you some resources of where to start. And I was going to share a personal story example of putting out my first vlog last week and what that was like for me. So, I want to just begin by stating the practice is meditation. And hopefully you're hearing that a lot more these days. We have a lot more resources, and for good reason. There's a lot of science to support what it does for our brain, what it does for our mental health, our emotional health. And I want to just say a few things about meditation. One, it is not mental analysis. I have a dear friend who says we could all write dissertations on what's wrong with us. And while often that will show up when we get quiet, we'll have those voices that will start pointing out what we need to do or what we've done wrong. Meditation is not mental analysis. Meditation is a practice that expands our awareness and our ability to bring more of ourselves to the present moment, to bring more of our body awareness sensation, our heart and its reactivity, and be aware of that, and our mind to this moment. Noticing is becoming more aware too. It builds our ability to notice, and we start to become more aware of how we get over-identified with our thoughts and our feelings. One of my favorite quotes here is by the father of existentialism. His name is Viktor Frankl. And he said, in between stimulus and response, or you could say in between trigger and our reactivity, there is this space. And in this space is where we can find our freedom. Meditation grows this space. And this is where we can choose to either act out of our conditioning and default patterns and judgments, or we can, if we've grown this space, we now can get curious. Hey, I notice I'm having this thought and it's causing me to feel really tight in my body. So we want to cultivate that space. Meditation helps us get there. I also want to say that meditation over time unveils our larger self. And I use that word unveil intentionally. Our larger self can feel like this holding presence that can hold all of our internal reactivity that's happening in the moment. It's kind of like the good present parent that we've always wanted and needed. And it's really where that equanimity gets birthed. And for me, it can often feel like this tree that's deeply rooted and grounded, this larger self, but it can also feel like this ocean that can hold all of me. So with that, I want to share a little bit about my story with vulnerability. I put out my first vlog last week. I was on retreat, and it was unscripted. It's just out in the woods, and I was just really alive and in my heart and wanting to share it. And it was a little over 10 minutes, and before I sent it out, I had a lot of internal reactivity. So let me back up a little bit and share a little bit more about me. One of the tools that I use in developing emotional intelligence is the Enneagram. I've been studying it for over a decade and working with it in my life. And I identify as the type 2, the helper giver. That is in what's called the heart triad, the heart intelligence. And the heart intelligence in all human beings is really where we come to know beauty, where we come to know value and meaning. It's how we know our worth. But often, especially in types 2, 3s, and 4s, that can get blocked. And so in comes the ego who wants to save the day and the ego strategies, and it tries to prop up an image that will be loved and will be accepted. And so a lot of work in the heart triad is seeing what we prop up for ourselves. It's kind of the propaganda of our heart. But really, authenticity is what brings us back home. And so with that, I can have a lot of internal reactivity whenever I'm just showing up unscripted, not perfected, not charming, just however I'm showing up. And it was like this internal system alarm was going off. If you guys have seen Inside Out and the character Fear in Inside Out, it's a great Disney movie, check it out. But it was like, warning, warning, she's going rogue. She's not following the pattern. And she's going to get rejected in some way or be seen in some less charming way. And so in comes the superego, right? Or the inner critic voice. Its job is just to kind of keep me in line and stay with the program that keeps me in my comfort zone and keeps me small. And so in noticing these thoughts that I was having come up, some of it around before I sent it out was when I watched my video. I was like, gosh, it's so long. No one's going to watch something over 10 minutes. And the inner critic voice came on again and kind of a neutral tone, like it's taken on this marketing guru job. And it says, not only is it a little too long, you've got some slow pauses in it. And, why don't you just redo it, do like 5 minutes and give them like 3 tips on aliveness. Then people will watch it. And so what I did was I shared it with a few close friends, including my husband. And my husband, he was watching it, and at the end he said, well, it's you. And I said, well, what's me? What does that mean? And he said, Summer, it's like you're holding a gentle bird. And when he said that, my heart softened. And I was like, it's true. I do have this holding quality that I have. I have the capacity to hold this nurturing, compassionate quality. And then in come inner critic voice. Yeah, that's cool. But, show me your fiery side. That's even cooler. Let you get the picture. Ouch, right? This inner critic voice. So chapter 2 to this story is I posted it. I posted my vlog. And there's this beautiful song by Josh Garrels. And it's called Ulysses, as in the mythic, the Greek myth. And the lyric that I love is it says, Sirens call my name, say they'll ease my pain, lift me from the storms. But true love is the burden that will carry me home. My ability to sense my contractions in my body before putting that video out into the world, and hearing my ability to hear my inner critic voice and know its judgments. I could see it more clearly for what it was. It's the sirens, right? That's saying, come back to your comfort zone. Come back. And but that siren's call is at what cost? My ability to notice gives me a choice. And my larger self knows that my home, my true north, is my authenticity. It's honoring my heart as it is in this moment and how it's expressing itself. And I'm the only one that can empower myself. So letting myself be seen as I am, and in this case, in my first vlog that I put out, is what my heart values. So I just want to say here that my authenticity is the vessel that carries me home every time. And I think that's true for all of us. And I know Brene Brown does. If you've read her work, if you haven't, check her out. So we all have our sirens that entice us to stay in our comfort zone, even if it robs us of our aliveness. So this brings me back to meditation. How do we do it? Where do we start? There's lots of styles, friends. There's concentrative, insight styles, apophatic, if you're from the Christian wisdom tradition. There's just different styles. And I think meditation apps can be really helpful. I'll give you a few that I've used. Insight Timer is a great one. I began with the basic on Headspace. I also really like Sam Harris's Waking Up app. His meditation course is fantastic. If you come from the Christian wisdom tradition, I highly recommend Second Breath. Second Breath also has specific practices for the body, the heart, and the mind intelligence, which I think is phenomenal. And I also want to just say, start where you will begin. Start simple. Pair it with a habit that you already have. If you're in your car, set an intention when you're at a traffic light. Feel your breath in your belly. Start with your body. Your breath, your body is always in the present moment. Take some deep breaths. Actually, I invite you just to be with your breath during that red light. See if you can stay with your breath during the traffic light. The best meditation practice is the one that you'll do. So play around. It may take a little bit. It may take some time to find what works best for you. But please go to my website, www.embodied-intelligence.com. If you subscribe, I have a free breath meditation. It's about 17 minutes, but I guide you through it. I'm also going to put some more resources on there for meditation, but you're also welcome to email me, embodiedintelligence3, it's the number 3 at gmail.com. Big hug to you. Bye.